latest episode of Bluey's third season was a surprise that caught many off guard. So, were you so surprised that you didn't notice all the little details and secrets that appeared in this amazing episode? For example, most people have no idea, but that Australian competitor Bandit was rooting for while watching TV actually exists in real life. Of course, he's not a dog, but a human who competes in high-performance events and Paralympic competitions. We can see the athlete's name on the screen as the girl's dad first goes downstairs to drop off Bingo's imaginary daycare child. His name is Kurt Fernley. Kurt has participated in 5 Paralympic Games, winning 3 gold medals, 7 silver, and 3 bronze. He was truly a phenomenon, which is why Bandit was so eager to watch him. Moreover, there's another curiosity about Kurt within the episode that we'll tell you about later. If you paid attention to the surprise episode, you'll see that at one point Kurt, or rather his canine version, fell during the race, but he still got up and managed to win the race. This is entirely inspired by a real-life event that happened to real Kurt in a race in 2006, where he fell but still rose to victory, which is an incredibly inspiring story of overcoming adversity. Even the time shown at the end of the race is the same as Kurt achieved in that same real-life race. You can see why the folks at Bluey used him as inspiration. The guy was a beast on the tracks. Many people didn't realize, but those can coolers that Bingo used to simulate her kids' playtime each have a symbol related to Australia, or a part of it. For example, one of them has a crocodile, one of the country's most iconic animals. More representative than the giant reptiles are kangaroos, which are featured on another small cooler. On the other two, we can see the Australian flag depicted on one and a map of the Australian state of Queensland on the other. In other words, a complete package of references to the show's home country of Australia. Did you know that the armor Bluey wears to hunt Bandit was inspired by 3 different designs? The first reference is to the old cartoon and video game Mega Man, mainly related to the part of the gauntlet that shoots balls, which is very similar to the arm of the hero robot that fired energy blasts at its enemies. At the same time, there's also a clear reference to the iconic Japanese anime Dragon Ball Z. We're talking about the visor Bluey wears on her head, which is very similar to what the Saiyans used during the show to measure their opponent's power levels. This is definitely a reference that anime fans will appreciate.
It's over 9,000!
But there's yet a third reference that was confirmed by the series creator, Joe Brum. According to the show's writer, he was inspired by the old science fiction animated series called Spartacus from 1987, which he must have watched at some point in his childhood. This inspiration was used when designing the rest of the outfit that Bluey wears in the episode that resembles the one worn by the protagonist of the show named Arcana. Indeed, we can say there's some resemblance. Now, when it comes to Bluey's pup, whom we meet a few years into the future, you can tell that despite her toy outfit being similar to her mother's when she was a kid, it's inspired by a character from one of the most famous animation franchises in history, Toy Story. That's because if you look closely, you'll notice that the little pup's toy is very similar to Buzz Lightyear's arch nemesis, Emperor Zurg. It's really cool to see this diversity of references in a single episode of the Bluey series. And if you watched this amazing episode and also enjoyed it a lot, comment below, #surprise.
Hey, you forgot to pick up Copernicus.
Another science fiction character that, according to the series creator, served as inspiration for the episode Surprise was none other than RoboCop, the police officer from the future. And contrary to what many people thought, it wasn't used as inspiration for Bluey and her pup's clothes and toys, as we just discussed. Actually, its reference occurred in the Easter egg that can't be missing in any Bluey episode, the Long Dog. At the very end of the show, we can see a Robo-Dog version of the Easter egg in the corner of the healer's room. And I have to say, this version turned out really good. As some years pass in the show, we can see that the environment changes completely outside the city of Brisbane, with several buildings popping up in the background, showing that the city has modernized quite a bit. But not only that, we can also notice that the 2 famous garbage collectors in front of the healer's house have gained a third companion, now becoming 3 garbage collectors, referencing the increasingly common practice of waste separation worldwide. Still in the same analysis of Bluey's world's future, we can observe another subtle detail that practically no one noticed. If you look closely, you'll notice that on the rooftops of the houses on the street where Bandit and Chili live, and in nearby houses as well, dark blue structures have been added. This is a reference to the use of solar energy, considered one of the cleanest in the world. This also fits well with Australia, as it's a very sunny country too. Furthermore, we can notice 2 more items that highlight that technology is an important part of Bluey's future. The first of these are delivery drones, which are already a reality in much of the world, and we can see them flying over the skies of Brisbane. Another point is the car that Bluey arrives in to visit her parents. The vehicle has every chance of being an electric vehicle, which is also becoming increasingly known as new environmentally friendly means of transportation. Congratulations to adult Bluey. Returning now to the entrance hall of the Healer family's house, where Long Dog is, we can find other really cool details that many didn't notice. One of them is that the cleaning robot is cleaning the room until it hits the wall and doesn't move from there anymore. Apparently, Bandit is the only one who notices this as he looks at the cleaning robot and makes a kind of "again" expression, but doesn't say anything. I think it should go to the charger that's right next to where it got stuck. If you've made it this far, you're one of us and surely enjoy cartoons and animated movies. So, here's a tip. Subscribe to our channel because we have a new video here every day. Back to the Healer family's living room, if we look up from the cleaning robot's charger, we'll notice a digital frame where we see several photos of memorable moments of Bluey's family that happened between the two moments at the end of the episode. And the first image we see is Bingo on a trip to Easter Island, which is an internationally famous archaeological site with giant statues. And, of course, in the animated series version, the statues are canine. This, in fact, opens up space for a very cool theory: that Bingo, in the future, will follow her father's footsteps and become a renowned archaeologist. We'll probably make a video soon talking more about this theory. The next image we see is one where the protagonist family is complete and gathered celebrating exactly Bluey's graduation. And we can say for sure that it's definitely a university graduation because the blue pup is wearing a graduation cap. In Australia, graduation from high school doesn't involve this accessory, only in higher education graduations. Now I'm curious, what course did Bluey study? Moreover, if you look closely, you'll see that in this same photo, Chili is already wearing glasses. But the detail is that the glasses frame is green in the digital image, unlike the brown ones she's wearing when Bluey comes home. This indicates that Chili's prescription might be increasing over the years, which is normal as age progresses. And it really seems that it's been a few years since Bluey graduated, especially considering the size of her pup. We can see that the Healer grandparents have indeed become fans of the convenience of modern life and have two Amazon technological devices at home. The first of these is a device that looks a lot like the Alexa Echo Dot 5, which is next to the house's door, on top of a small puff. The ones we usually use to listen to music and ask questions to Alexa. The other device is another Alexa, but this time the Echo Show 5 version, which has a 5.5-inch screen where we can see that it's 3:30 p.m. and the background image is a beach, a place that Bluey and Bingo's family really enjoy visiting. The device is usually used to create alarms and other specific timers, as well as a myriad of other functions. And finally, on the ceiling of the room, we can see another technological device that closely resembles a fire prevention apparatus, but is actually an infrared smart universal remote control compatible with Google and Amazon devices. This equipment allows Bandit and Chili to control their appliances and electronics from their phones even from a distance. Let's agree that the Healer's life is really much more comfortable compared to when Bluey and Bingo were little 6- and 4-year-old pups. Which is actually great, as it made the episode even richer in details and references. And honestly, I love making these lists of Bluey episodes because I love watching this show. And since I know you also enjoy watching cartoons like the Blue Pups, we're leaving 2 very cool videos for you to check out right now if you want. Both are really good, so if I were you, I'd watch both.